yes, back to my point about me being right by GTA, right? I also talk about capitalism. I talk about market forces. I talk about how all these things interplay with our hobbies. Like, anyways, so what I was saying before is that I was right. One of my fears, and I addressed it via Valve, but you could replace Valve. Actually, in my stream, I did talk about Rockstar getting infinite amount of grace, right? But now we're seeing that, yes, Rockstar is now doing the thing I was afraid they were going to do, which is the way they are pricing GTA 6. GTA 6 is getting a fucking insane, like, here, let's just read this. GTA 6 locks in game stores behind $100 Ultimate Edition. This is from Dexito. GTA 6 Ultimate Edition has been revealed, showing off a ton of exclusives. Content available to those who fork out an extra $20, including some in-game stores. The game launches November 19th. You could choose between the standard edition for $80 or the Ultimate Edition for $100. But if you have the standard edition, you can pay the $20 to get the Ultimate anytime. So there are 5 stores offering unique tattoos, clothing, hairstyles, vehicle mods, leaving tons of cosmetics behind the higher price tag. And these are the options you can go to. So it's not that super in depth. But what I was looking at, and what a lot of people surprisingly were also getting at too, was it isn't necessarily the idea of having an Ultimate Edition. Other companies have done Ultimate Editions. In fact, right here, the people out here legit using the mind of a GTA 6 having a $100 Ultimate Edition. It's been this way for years. GTA 6 is one of the cheapest special editions I've seen. This right here, this was the coping mentality I was trying to warn against when I was talking about the Steam machine costing over $1,000. They will allow for companies like Valve or Rockstar to do things they would not allow from literally any other company, like at all. Because this right here does not make what they're doing justifiable, because what they are doing is taking content that was already either expected or available in other titles in the same series and now making it a luxury, now making it hidden behind an upgrade Ultimate Edition. GTA 3 to GTA San Andreas, they added more features. San Andreas, GTA 4, they took away the RPG element of it in terms of like leveling up, like getting stronger and faster, but they added way more content. In addition to an online mode, they added the ability to, for example, to steal police cars and do like vigilante missions, right? They added the like prototype of like the freaks system that you see got refined in GTA 5. They added a lot of stuff in just base GTA 5 without saying you have to buy DLC to get a haircut, right? I know in other series, I haven't gotten to the main issue I have with, by the way, but in other series, yes, they'll be like let's look at this person mentioned Star Wars Outlaws. Let's mention Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft is pretty popular, are pretty well known for popularizing the idea of putting Ultimate Editions, Gold Editions, and having like exclusive things just for those editions, right? But they might have like a mission that's exclusive to that or a costume. That's fine. But the expectation was never that in this open world, I wouldn't have access to things I already had access to in previous games. Everything for Assassin's Creed is pure greed profit. And that's how they recognize that as. But when it comes to Rockstar, it's no longer recognized as that. In GTA 5, they didn't say, oh, you want to access this store? You have to pay $10 real money. So we'll give you the option to get this haircut for Franklin or for Trevor or for Michael. You didn't have to get a special shop for mods, for body mods for the body of your car. You didn't have to do any of that. That was in the game already. And at least when they gave you these, like when you got this stuff, these different, let's look at this. Let's look at not NBA 2K series, because that could be any of these games. Look at Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition, for example. Full base game, Firehawk Fury weapon skin, bounty pack bundle, 4 unique areas, featuring new missions, unique boss, 4 vault cards, new Vault Hunter cosmetics, 4 new vehicles, new legendary gear, ornate order pack, 4 new skins, 4 Vault Hunter heads, 4 Vault Hunter bodies, Vault Hunter pack, 2 new playable Vault Hunters, 2 new stories. So you got all of this for, I think, according to this, $130. This does seem like quite a lot of things to get. Notice how most of these things are, it's 4 unique areas, new missions, new bosses, Vault Hunter cards, each with 24 cosmetic and 4-piece legendary gear. You're getting a lot of in-game content for a high price. And I will read your chat later. Cartoon, come and get to that point. But, and in addition, you get all these things, right? Next thing they mentioned was Star Wars Outlook. Okay, this is also $129. Ultimate Edition has the base game, season pass, ultimate pack, digital art book. What's the ultimate pack? The Rogan Machado bundle, including cosmetics for Kay, Nyx, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer. The Savak Shark bundle, including cosmetics for Kay and her blaster, Nyx, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer. 2 additional bundles available upon the release of the second-day story pack. So again, you are all getting shit, and I'm pretty confident you're also at least getting physicals, which is important. We'll look at one more. We'll look at, let's do Civilization, coming into that Ubisoft game. Civ 5 or Civ 7 Founders Edition. Well, that's Sellers Edition, Deluxe Edition, Standards Edition. Let's do, is this one higher than that one? Okay. Full base game, and then the Takamis and Shawnee pack crosses the world collection, 2 leaders, a Lovelace Simon Bolivier, 4 civilizations, 4 natural windows, right to collection. So you come to, again, all of this shit, and the cost is, I'm gonna go by his cost, $129. Okay. This, the GTA stuff, all of this, here. GTA 6, let's do GTA 6 Ultimate Edition, and then we'll do, Kotaku has a more in-depth guide. So this is what you get Ultimate Edition. You get a car, guns, as if guns fucking matter in GTA. Ooh, you get personalized weapons engraving. You get your looks. You get safe house vehicles, customs, hair, and a watercraft. Let's look at the collector's edition though. GTA 6 collector's edition. Let's come with the collector's edition, because maybe you are you like to collect shit. GTA 6 physical edition, not including a disc. What? Remember when physical copies of video games included a disc containing the game for them? Me too. You'd think that'd be the bare minimum. GTA 6 pre-orders are here, and while available on PlayStation, Xbox storefronts in digital form, you can also reserve a physical copy to arrive on its day of release, November 19th. But the box won't actually contain a disc you can slot into your console. Instead, a piece of presumably nice, shiny, colorful paper will be found inside with the code written on it, so you can redeem it on the relevant digital storefront downloaded. So aside from those who love lining up plastic boxes on their shelves, what benefit does getting a physical edition grant you? Don't know. I don't know. And that is something that I feel like in all of this is being missed, okay? Having a company like Rockstar, in a sense, spearhead this is creating a bad precedent, because it's creating a permission structure for now literally every other game company to do so. And I know gamers. I know the gamers online are going to be like, but only Rockstar can do this because they have good quality. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Because if Rockstar's doing this, this is the green light for everyone to do this. For everyone. Because even if you want to say Rockstar wasn't the first one to do this, they're the biggest ones to do this. People complained when EA did this with Mass Effect, right? When Mass Effect 3 came out, and it was like there was like day one DLC. Like, you're gonna make me pay for shit that's already on disc. People were mad about that. people were mad about horse armor way back as the first DLC, right? People are mad at Nintendo for, again, having your physicals mean nothing because there's a game key, right? But Rockstar gets a pass. And if Rockstar is allowing this shit to happen, then there is no company that'd be above doing that. I was already talking about how Valve released the Steam machine for over $1,000 without even including a fucking controller, right? That's $78 more. And people are going to say, oh, broke boy, whatever. But this is anti-consumer practices. I am paying $80 for a game. Thank you, Nintendo. But I'm paying $80 for this game. Well, I'm not because it's not PC. You're paying $80 for this game. And for that, I don't give a shit. Also, too, here's another thing people like to do specifically for Rockstar. Now, because people were waiting 13 years for this, the $80 is justified because I saw someone online, I'm not going to look him up right now, maybe when I edit this down for like a video or whatever, but they're talking about how, oh, who cares about the price? You guys have been waiting 13 years. You're going to play this game for 50 years. No, you're not. At least not the single player. Maybe the online, but the online, I'm pretty sure, didn't GTA Online, hold on, GTA 5 Online, that was released 2 weeks after the main game. So you might be doing the online portion, but the online portion has nothing to do with the base game, right? You're paying $80 for a game that's not going to launch with online services at all. And then on top of that, you're going to be most likely paying for shit while you do the online. But what happens online does not justify the base game. It doesn't. And I'm sorry, it's a bad practice to have things that were previously... Okay, you know what the perfect example for this is? The difference between Destiny and Destiny 2. They made the shaders... There we go. Oh, thank you, Kotaku. Destiny 2 players stream over one-time use shaders and microtransactions. Shaders in Destiny 2 parts are special items that change the coloring of your gear. In the first Destiny, shaders were permanent accessories that you could equip to alter your entire character appearance, but in D2, they're consumables. You get them in batches, and you'll have to put them on individual pieces of equipment, which uses them up. That was something that didn't happen in the original Destiny. And then they said, hey, you know what? This thing that was like a permanent resource you had, it's limited. The other wrinkle is that shaders are also part of Destiny's elaborate microtransaction system, which lets you pay real money to get cosmetics and even non-cosmetic items from a store called the Eververse. Destiny players, already cynical about this pervasive system, have theorized that Bungie turned shaders into a consumable, so it'll be easier to sell them. Now, again, that is something that they did not do in the first game. Bungie made everything in Eververse earnable now. Yeah, now, in the last update, not the case from the launch though, right? That was 2017. It's 2026. I'm sure things have changed. I'm sure things that are once more restrictive are not free. But the point still stands. They took something that was at no cost to the player, that's something that was free, you earned it, and it was permanent. And then they made that usable. And so then they made that a consumable, so you'd be more inclined to engage in the microtransactions. That is already fucked up. But now you're seeing it on a larger scale where the ability, there were no stores, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but in GTA 5, there were no stores in the base game that you had to pay access to. It's not like you bought GTA 5 and if you bought the deluxe edition, then you could go to like the rich people store. You got GTA 5, you had access to everything inside of it. That's always been one of the main staples in GTA games. Hence the open world. You were allowed to experience this world as if you were actually living there. Granted, due to technical limitations, you couldn't go into every single building, what have you, but you could go to the automod shop. You could go to these stores. And now they're telling you is, oh, remember that shit you got in our last game? Well, we've been working hard for 13 years and we've decided actually no. We're gonna make you pay $20 more to have access to this shit. That's already in the game, mind you. We locked it off to have access to this shit. Because we can. Because you have people like this who'll be like, Dude, this isn't even the most expensive one. There's other ones like, first off, I like how he says NBA 2K series. There's been 27 2K games. Which one was 149? Every single one? I don't think so. Right? But this is what I was talking about. You have these brand loyalist consumers who, whenever their favorite brand does something that would be anti-consumer, or at least something they would criticize from another brand doing it, I do not see it. I do not see that. When you are entrenched in a capitalistic system, you naturally become anti-consumer. And then what happens is people become brainwashed by said system and becomes defenders of something that objectively oppresses them, whether it's through means like this, whether it's through supporting rich people, even though they are actively fucking over the planet, whether it's through supporting these corporations that are not only poisoning the planet, but treating you worse and making money hand over fist while you are living check to check and your material conditions worsen, and you're still praying at the altar of capitalism. This is the sickness that happens. They could identify this. They could identify this if I said this was Ubisoft. If I said this was EA, they'd be like, that's fucking greedy. EA's already charging me $20 a month to access their games online, and on top of that, adding DLC, and on top of the DLC is just different colors. That's bullshit. Because in the other games, they didn't do that. X-Pain, I mentioned that. Someone said that charging $100 is game could last 10 years. Yes. And that's another mentality. They're only allowing this to happen because they like the brand. I promise you, if this was, let's say this was Naughty Dog, or better yet, let's say it's Insomniac, because Insomniac's the new hated game developer company on Twitter. Let's say Insomniac was like, you know what? We heard you guys, and we're gonna bring back fucking Resistance: Fall of Man, right? The Resistance series. Here's your first-person war alternate World War II history shooter, right? But in this edition, this remake, we are going to only remake about 70% of it, and then for the rest of it, we're gonna charge you DLC. So we're gonna give you the game. And remember in the old game when you could play from start to finish, we're gonna chop that up, and now you're gonna pay the rest of the game. That's $15 more. They would be like, that is predatory, that is anti-consumer. Why am I getting a worse deal? But if you now make that Rockstar, they'd be like, no, this is genius, actually. You don't understand, because in Red Dead Redemption 2, right, you're playing as Arthur Morgan. And so to really experience the injustice of the Western times, of and the lawlessness of it, of course it makes sense for also the real life company to nickel and dime you by getting rid of half the content and making you pay to access something they took away. That's not to say that happens in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm just using that as an example. This is the mindset that I keep trying to fight against. You have to get off your knees. You gotta stand up. These are billion-dollar corporate. In fact, for some reason, gamers and movie nerds online, but mostly gamers, love to attach their self-worth to the monetary value of the product they're engaging in. So GTA selling $1 bajillion means like, hell yeah, I helped to contribute to that, and that somehow makes me feel good. And I'm like, this multi-billion-dollar company is telling you you're going to get less and like it. You're not even going to fucking own your game. Yeah, we gave you a physical release for you to have a piece of paper that you can download on our digital storefront. And for whatever reason, if we ever decide to revoke the right, we're going to do it, right? You don't even have the illusion that because you have a physical disc, you can put in different machines and take it with you. No, because there is no disc. There is no control. That illusion is gone. And you guys are going, yeah, but it's GTA. I've been waiting 13 years. I've been waiting, since I was 13. I'm 26 years old now. I'll pay. Remember we saw those articles that people were like, I'd pay $100 for GTA. You kidding me? Grand Theft Auto 6 is the only game that should be allowed to charge you $120. And you should be thankful they're charging you that much, because look at how much money they spent. Oh, so Natalie, now you suddenly give a shit about the budgets and the profit margins of these companies. I'm reminded of that Legendary Drops video when he was like, Xbox does not deserve the right to sell a game at $70. Look at their track history. But now it's, no, GTA, yeah, they could sell for $100. No, you don't understand. They spent so much money. They spent almost $1 billion on this game. We have to give them our money. They spent so much on this. They spent so much on this price. You guys, we gotta give them their money. We gotta pay $100. That's not fair. They spent 13 years making this game. Maybe, I don't know. And they're just a small company. They're just a little company. It's okay. Rockstar's game was unlisted, privately held subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive, making its exact standalone value impossible to pinpoint. However, industry analysis estimated its standalone valuation, so just Rockstar, not Take-Two, is at 20 to 25 billion, making it one of the most highly valued entertainment brands globally. Let's say Take-Two's Interactive. Let's look at their. First, we'll look at their revenue in last year. So Take-Two reported total net revenue of 5.6 billion for the fiscal year. Take-Two Interactive net worth, as measured by its market capitalization, is approximately 45 billion. For public traded companies, market capitalization represents total net worth. The company operates with total assets of 10 billion and trailing 12-month revenues of 6.6 billion. It is one of the largest publicly traded game companies globally, as in on the planet. Globally. And I'm supposed to give a fuck about their financial struggles? I don't. Not when Strauss Zelnick, his true companies are tied to joint contract with Magic Company ZMC, where he gets anywhere from 42 to 72 million dollars. Yeah, dog. I'm not really. I don't really see the need to want to factor in, oh, but there's market costs or whatever. And then that guy's like, oh, well, they're not releasing physical because, it's going to cost them money. They can afford it. GTA Online by itself is basically what sustained them throughout this development cycle. But now I'm supposed to give a shit. $2 billion to make GTA's pocket change. Exactly my point. And GTA 6 will make its money back. It will. It'll make its money back within 24 hours, probably less than that, right? But that in itself is also kind of the problem overall in where we are in gaming. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. A lot of gamers are not principled. Just a lot of gamers are just not principled, man. They will sit here and berate the easy companies to hate on. Naughty Dog because they're tired of Last of Us and it's woke. They'll hate on Ubisoft for their predatory practices. They'll hate on like any company that's been put in the zeitgeist, Activision / Blizzard, EA. They will hate on all those things for, let's say, justifiable reasons. But when that's present in the companies they like, they say nothing or they defend it. Valve basically popularized loot boxes on PC, and so did Activision with Overwatch, but Valve played its part too. I mean, holy shit, CSGO, right? The CSGO skins, loot boxes, Valve let that shit fly, but they get no backlash for that. They take no responsibility for that socially. No one ever hits them on that. They'll hit Activision, they'll hit EA because we all hit EA. They'll hit EA, but they won't hit Valve. Rockstar can do shit that Ubisoft does, and they will not ever give Rockstar the type of social backlash they give any other company. Budget in gaming too high, like in movies. Exactly, too. And this is the problem. You have these people who will come on the internet all day, every day, talking about how Western game development sucks, right? You know who I'm talking about. It's all those grifters. Western game developers companies suck. Western games are failing. They're too woke. They're too this. They're this, and that. And then these very same people be like, but GTA 6, a series that has been, by their standards, very woke for decades, right? That's the exception. Why is it the exception? Because you like it. Why is it that these business practices that you condemn, like hiring like activist voice actors, they said the same actress for Lucia is like an activist that hated Trump, and they're still going to buy this game. You have people who are like, oh, they better not put any gay shit in this game. Dog, they had the Ballad of Gay Tony. There's going to be gay shit in this game. And you're still going to buy it. You have no consistency. You have no principles. Because like I said, at the end of the day, you just do this shit for drama. You're going to still buy this. You're going to buy it. It's going to make $1 bajillion. And no one's going to have anything negative to say about this game, right? Or anything negative about Rockstar, anything like that. And we all know this to be true. We all know this is going to happen. So that's why Rockstar is like, well, fuck it. That's why Valve's like, no, bitch, you're going to pay $1,000 for the Steam machine. I don't give a fuck. Could I subsidize it? Yeah, but I'm not going to. And you're still going to buy it because I don't have to. Eat my dick. And people are getting in line to do that. But then they'll be like, Xbox has the nerve to charge this much for this. There's still some that are still doing that. Yeah, they're all companies. That's the difference between, I think, myself and these grifters. There's a lot between us. They're not principled. The stances they have are my opinions, my viewpoint on capitalism and anti-consumer practices do not switch because I like the company. I've been telling you guys this. I am not beholden to brands. I just told you I used to use Adobe. Now I don't. I'm not fucking beholden to brands. I think it's insane to be beholden to a brand. Brands are not loyal to people. People are loyal to brands. The brands don't give a fuck about you. You look at Rockstar. If their excuse for their pricing is market conditions, those same market conditions affect us consumers, right? If shit's getting more expensive for this multi-billion-dollar company, you don't think it's getting more expensive for this day-to-day wage workers? You think you are losing out on money by selling this game at $80 instead of selling like a $200? You think everyone else is not suffering? You think all our material conditions are improving while you, the multi-billion-dollar company, is losing out? How do we as gamers do all about this? In an ideal situation, you just wouldn't fucking buy the game. You'd be like, no, these prices are too high. You guys need to adjust your expectations and your budgets. Because that's another thing too that kind of gets on my nerves. These companies will, you know how these grifters will say, this game is woke. Who asked for this? Who asked for that? You know what they should be saying? Well, who fucking told you to hire this actor who cost $100 million? Why is Kevin Spacey in my actual Call of Duty game? What does Kevin Spacey add to Call of Duty? Are you guys not fans of one of the biggest franchises of all time until you saw recognizable celebrity face? You were really hoping, you know what, you guys know in the next God of War game, I know they have the actress plays Karen Page. I know they have Deborah Ann Woll in it, but I'm really hoping Dwayne The Rock Johnson makes an appearance. If Dwayne The Rock Johnson gets to play a god like Maui, if he gets to play a god, I'll buy the game. But if not, I'm really hoping Sony Santa Monica spent an additional $60 million to get The Rock in the fucking mocap suit. And so I could like, no. Because we are not, as gamers, we're not animated by celebrities being in games. We are fans of the character. It's like the Mario movie. People went to watch the Mario movie not because Chris Pratt was Mario. People went to watch the Mario movie because they fucking like Mario. GTA 6, because it's GTA, has to be good. It has to make $1 billion, and you have to be okay with paying for it. Because look at all the hard work they put into it. But if any other company was like, we spent 13 years on this game, most gamers would be like, it's probably dog shit. Why didn't it come on already? But because it's GTA, and I'm not an idiot, I know Rockstar has really high quality, but that cannot be an excuse anymore. We are no longer living in a $50, $60, $70 game prices. Games are now costing $80 to $100. And if you do not think there's going to be another company that jacks up their price for their games, you're a fucking moron. And you have been paying attention to what I've been screaming about for the last hour. This is all a precedence being set. Remember, I'm going to be one of those old gamers where it's like, remember, we didn't pay for games after we bought them. DLC, right, was not a thing. Pre-Xbox 360, pre-PS3, you bought a game, that was the game. you'd have to wait for a sequel. And then DLC came out, and you could buy horse armor, and they could charge you whatever they wanted. And then yes, over time we've accepted that, okay, DLC is optional, whatever. But then they started becoming more insidious. You started having more of a psychological effect, where loot boxes became a real prominent fixture in gaming. And now they're using that FOMO. That's how free-to-play games work. That's how Fortnite makes its money. It's based off of FOMO. It's based off of being a part of the out group. If you don't think I'm right, play a game of Fortnite in a default skin and like suck, and see how many people don't like you because you have a default skin. Because to them, that represents status, and you lack that status. And as humans, the vast majority of us like to fit in. So you will more likely than not buy it. Hell, even EA was accused of, in Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, they would have the loot box drop in, and then they would let you, a player who didn't have access to it, see the animation, just so you would be more incentivized to want to buy it. We literally are now at a point where they are straight up using gambling psychological tricks on their audience. And we're just like, well, this is how it has to be. At some point, don't get me started on battle passes, but at some point, there needs to be a line in the sand. Like, we don't even own our games anymore. Even the people who try to maintain physical media, now you're seeing GTA saying, here's the physical game, but no fucking actual game on this. Sorry, here's a code. Because now what's stopping every other company from doing that? What's stopping the major companies to be like, hey, your physical edition, you pay $200. Here's your map. Here's your fucking, I don't know, overnight bag. Here's your Modern Warfare Remake 4 overnight bag and goggles and steelbooks. Oh, the game, digital code. So I also don't own the game either. So I have a bunch of shit and I don't even own the game. That illusion is gone now. Because then what's next? Like, how are you going to rationalize defending what's next? None of this shit is attainable, is sustainable. And we're at the point now where even the companies are just straight up admitting, yeah, this shit's not going to last very long.